Every summer, there tends to be this fabled, wishful, dreamlike signing. The whole fan base knows would be that guy for us, would be that perfect player, and is exactly what we need to go up another level and fulfills a desperate role in this team. This once fell upon Alexandro, Riyad Mahrez, Aguero, Hulk, but it seems like this summer, we haven't stopped dreaming. Do we have a real possibility to sign Rodrygo from Real Madrid? Find out in today's news. Court Offside have revealed a big story today coming out from Spain, and it involves Rodrygo of Real Madrid becoming one of our top dream targets in this summer window. They actually revealed that we have a kitty of over 200 million to spend on reinforcing the team, and two other targets we are paying strong attention to and would like to make bids for include Gyokeres of Sporting Lisbon and the sensation at Bournemouth in Dean Howson. Figures around this deal go from 100 mil euros to 120 mil euros, which is around 86 to 100 million pounds. And the report has the audacity to say that we feel confident that we could secure him for this level of money. Now, we aren't the only clubs naturally looking at Rodrygo. Liverpool are big fans. And if you guys didn't realize, last summer, Man City made efforts to try and sign Rodrygo, but they were rebuffed by both Real Madrid and the player himself. But fast forward close to 12 months later, it seems like the landscape could be completely different. Now, when a story like this comes out, there's a lot to unpack, a lot to discuss, and I have a few topics worth hearing and worth getting involved in this conversation. But let's start with the obvious one. Yeah, we all know that Rodrygo has been this fantasy option that the fan base, everyone in the fan base has been fully up for. But the reality comes down back to finances. Rodrygo's contract expires in 2028. He is currently earning around 12.5 mil euros a year. That's around 10.8 million pounds. And when you want to sign the very best players, you have to cough up that money. You must pay them their wage packet. And recently, overpaying for wages is the main thing we've been looking to avoid. Hence the entire Victor Osimhen saga last summer ending in absolutely nothing because our gamble of potentially getting Osimhen to accept less wages to sign for us laughably blew up in our faces. But as I've kept reiterating time and time again, possibilities, ambitions, they open up if Champions League football is secured. It's now confirmed that a top 5 finish guarantees CL football, and on top of that, we have a big opportunity to go as far as we can in this summer's Club World Cup, where if we could potentially win this, there's a cash windfall of over 100 million that could definitely help us in terms of our finances. Not only is there potential to earn more money from participating in Europe and doing well in the Club World Cup, but the big main thing is we can finally attract big money sponsor deals, as we've been holding out for around 60 mil plus annually from any company that looks to be our front of shirt sponsor. So the level of spending we can show literally comes down to, do we secure our objectives at the end of this season? And this is what we're gambling on right now. There's potentially another way to fund this move. It's not the most sexy one though, and that is if Real Madrid are incredibly serious about their pursuit of Enzo Fernandez. Is there a potential conversation around a player trades involving both players? In my opinion, if there was one window where you need to have a war chest ready, it will be the summer window. And that is simply based on the fact that this summer, our rivals around us, they will be spending big money. They will have to revamp and upgrade their teams. Look at Man City. They need to find a big name replacement now for De Bruyne. Look at Arsenal. They're looking to sign a top striker. Man United can finally start reinvesting in their squad to help Amorim. Newcastle would have the potential to have the opportunity to be more ambitious in the summer window. And all that simply means is to safeguard the position you find yourself in right now, you will have to spend because your rivals around us, they won't be taking the summer window lightly at all. Another reality is, why would Real Madrid want to sell? If they sold Rodrygo, that would be an incredible sacrifice to their squad because Rodrygo brings that balance to their attack. But with Trent Alexander-Arnold arriving next season, with Madrid's ambitions to invest in defense and most importantly, sign that Cruz-esque figure now in midfield. It seems like there's a potential formation shift on the horizon for next season. The season prior, where Madrid were dominant with Bellingham crashing the books, Rodrygo and Vinicius Jr., they relied upon using a diamond midfield. And now that Mbappe has arrived at Real Madrid, that's brought its own little can of worms, because it's taken Madrid quite a long time to find that balance that supports all these great offensive players in that team together. However, now that Madrid got absolutely rinsed by Arsenal yesterday, now that they are now a few points behind a Barcelona team that are the current favourites for La Liga, this may end up becoming a disappointing campaign for Real Madrid once the season ends. And for a club who have found their recent success in their IP, in their stature in the game, on their competition wins, that is a crucial part of their business model that they must continue. And could Real Madrid potentially consider selling Rodrygo to buy more players that promote Bellingham, Vinny, and Mbappe as that key attacking trio for the future? Now, I'm going to go into more detail because if you guys were unaware, Madrid posted world record revenue earned at over 1.04 billion. But they only recorded a profit of 15.6 million euros. Now, I can go into a ton of detail to really paint the financial landscape at Real Madrid, but I don't think you guys want me to spend like double the time on this video. So I'll keep it vague and I'll keep it concise. The big thing we can't forget is that Madrid are a club owned by their fans and not by owners. And that essentially means that they have no owners that can input big cash injections like we've seen Clear Lake and Blue Coat do over the recent seasons. On top of that, they're a club that don't tend to earn massive profits from player sales. At Real Madrid, these tend to be the likely scenarios. Players, of course, end their careers there and leave on frees after having majestic careers that set up Real Madrid. You're looking at your Ramoses, Benzema's, Marcelo's, etc., etc., and Toni Kroos's. But they've also taken some financial hits with how Gareth Bale's time at the club ended, and of course with the misfortune of Eden Hazard's time at Real Madrid. On top of this, they pay their players a crap ton of money. They offer incredible signing on fees. As we know, Mbappe earned over 100 million in a signing on fee when he signed for Real Madrid. So Madrid really rely upon sporting success. If they're going to invest in the world's best premium talents, they must deliver the silverware on the field, which keeps the whole gravy train ticking. Now, I want to say this. I am not here to allude at all that Real Madrid are in a financial situation where they are forced to sell. Absolutely not. As I said, I can go into greater detail. I can discuss all the investment opportunities they have lined up. This season accounts will probably be greater than their 23-24 accounts. What I'm here to say is that Madrid have to also be responsible, and they may be shifting their first team needs for next season, which tells you that if the money was correct for one of their players, would they necessarily say no to Rodrygo this summer compared to last? Now, let's focus this conversation on Rodrygo. I would say that if I was to make one comparison with him, he is the Willian of Real Madrid. And I mentioned that point because when Willian was at Chelsea, we all knew the left flank was his best position. When he played there, he could play to a stronger foot. He could take more shots. The output statistically grew even more. However, we had Eden Hazard there, which meant that Willian's benefits came from his team play, his supportive play, the balance he could offer us offensively. And that's a similar position Rodrygo has found for himself now that he plays predominantly down that right side. Now, during last season, when Vinny was out for a bit and Rodrygo had that left flank to himself, I mean, without a doubt, this guy was levels, this guy was clear. But since Mbappe's arrival, that's created opportunities to play down there become less likely. And some Madristas, even though they value and love Rodrygo and know this guy is clear and he's levels, there's still these conversations around, is he necessarily the best we could have down that right flank? And if there is going to be a formation shift with Vinny and Mbappe up front with Bellingham behind, having guys like Alexander-Arnold that can play balls over the top and a Kroos-type midfield player could really potentially benefit that attacking trio for next season compared to the full potential of their attack this season. Naturally, playing on the right flank means that he's not constantly given the opportunities to strike the ball with his stronger foot in his more favoured positions. And now that Madrid's committed to signing Mbappe, there's only so much you can do to be that support player for the team. Does Rodrygo have ambitions to move on now and become the absolute star that really just shines his talents to ridiculous heights now, and think about his legacy and his own career? For me, if I could pick one player who's a dream target, naturally that is going to be Rodrygo. I can just envision the balance in the future. You know, this guy being the new face of the club, spearheading, you know, this exciting new Chelsea team alongside Esteval and your Andre Santoses, with a lot more South American talent to come to the club in subsequent seasons. And he's fulfilling a role that we need in the team. A genuine, out of this world, top left-wing talent that can single-handedly become that match winner, that problem solver, that upgrades his players around him, and most importantly, upgrades the team. He is pretty complete, even though he is under fire sometimes with the consistency of his finishing. However, a lot of times finishing quality comes from form and confidence. And if you're regularly taking shots in your favorite position, you're more likely to find the back of the net compared to taking them from your support position. And it does feel like if the ambition really is there to spend money on this transfer, to spend money on these wages, we on paper are the best equipped club now to take advantage of this Brazilian maestro. The thing I love about Rodrygo, and we all do, is just how he glides on the ball when he's getting past his man. The footwork is out of this world in terms of how silky it is, but it's how he combines that skill set with his problem-solving abilities. And this is a guy that is equally comfortable being that match winner, spearheading attacks, finding guys inside the box, finding the right positions to attack inside the box, supporting his teammates with assists. I mean, I can go on. And on top of that, he has a great work engine. This is the best presser in Madrid's front three at the moment, mixed with the fact that he's an even more complete player based on the different positions and roles he fulfills at Real Madrid over these last few seasons. And this is why I make this comparison to Willian. And I'll keep saying that because if Willian was allowed to cook on the left flank, I think so many more Chelsea fans, they would see him in higher lights and higher estimations. And it wouldn't be the first time that we've taken advantage of superb talents at Real Madrid who weren't able to get that appreciation they deserved, and watch them add big quality to our team. You're looking at Makelele, and you're looking at Mateo Kovacic. I keep saying this, man, but it's hard not to dream about Rodrygo on the left flank and Esteval Willian on the right flank. And hopefully these are the moves we can now make now if we get Champions League football. Because for me, this game is really simple. There's only so far you can go with a manager performing 10 out of 10 every game from a tactical perspective, because the players must also make sense of the matches they're playing in. They are the ultimate problem solvers, the ultimate solutions, and they take more responsibility in terms of outcoming the result in a game compared to the manager on the touchline. It's really that simple. And for me, we've always won things when we've had access to 2 to 4 minimum world-class talents who are literally top 20 in the world. At the moment, Caicedo's in that conversation. But outside of that, we don't really have that caliber or level of player who really is the biggest difference maker in helping you actualize your goals, your ambitions. For the rest of them, we are hoping they can get to that stage in the next 1 to 3 years. So for myself, this is why focusing on the needle movers, if we get CL football, this must be the strategy for this window. It's about making us ready for the challenge right now, whilst also promoting and making the rest of these guys better players too. So, my friends, how are you feeling about these Rodrygo links? I feel like this won't be the last time many clubs are set to get linked with him, as we're getting closer now to the summer window. I've given my arguments, I've given my opinions. Now it's time to leave yours in the comments below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And for you guys who are still locked in right to the end, I'm on day 3 now of my water fast, and I've hit this stage right now where, in terms of my ketosis already, actually, which surprised me, I'm like on level 8 right now, if you guys can see, which means I'm in the fat burning stage. And today, this is where like all the hunger urges have like dramatically been reduced now, where I'm not really feeling them. I'm still active. I'm still doing like 15k steps a day. You got to do that to retain your muscle mass. But I would say that like mentally as well, I'm feeling this little bit of like stillness. Not as much, but I feel like it's growing as the day's going on. I wouldn't say I'm feeling full mental clarity just yet, but there is this little feeling that I'm kind of like watching life pass by me a little bit. I'm still feeling like a little bit foggy and lightheaded, but I feel like that's slowly starting to like evaporate as the day's going on. And I'm hoping by tomorrow I'm going to be like knee deep in in full ketosis, and I'm going to do it for 7 days, but I'll see how I feel on the 7th day. I could even extend it to the 11th day just to get like out of this world, like next level rejuvenation and replenishment and all that stuff. So I'll keep giving you guys the updates every day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Show some love, hit that like button, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Cool.